Good morning, everyone. Here it is, May 10th, and we are doing our final game review of the season. So, voice was a little rough last night. It was exciting. It was an exciting game. Binghamton does make history, wins the back to back titles, 5-2 victory. This game really was a lot closer than that, though, right until the very end. Really, the I feel like Carolina was still in this with as much as about 8 minutes left in the game. But Carolina, um, again, they fall a bit short. I'm gonna break this down a little bit. Um, First of all, goaltending was fantastic. I know a lot of Carolina fans are probably thinking, oh, Babick played so fantastic last Saturday. Why do we go back to Cavallari? Um, Coach Harrison trusts Mario. And Mario, I'm sure, was also very confident going in. I'm sure he said to Coach, you put me in, I'm going to get you a win. Um, the, I, the record speaks for itself for Mario. And the four of the five goals that Binghamton scored, uh, nobody would have saved them. It was just the quality of play last night was so good by both teams, um, and a couple of breakdowns, both ends, but for the most part, really really good hockey. Um, Cavallari played very well. His stats do not tell the story. All right, let's get into this. So Connor McAnanima once again, and Mario Cavallari for the Thunderbirds. Sold out crowd plus standing room only. Um, so first period, first 6 minutes, pretty even. Both teams had really good pace, good physicality. Um, it was really something. And then for the remainder of the first period, Carolina kind of took control with puck possession. Uh, they were able to kind of play keep away a little bit from the Black Bears and get some good shots on McAnanima. The goal was absolutely incredible, absolutely beautiful. Uh, Ford and Baker come down on a 2-on-1 break. Ford, the puck carrier, does a great little head fake and kind of a twitch to fake the pass to Baker, freezes McAnanima. He tucks it in 6 hole on the short side, and it's 1-0 in favor of Carolina. Roman Kramer and James Farmer are assisting on that goal. So at the end of one, it's 1-0 Carolina. 11 shots aside. And again, the quality of play was very very good. In the second period, Binghamton um, during the intermission, they were able to break things down, recognize a couple of things they needed to improve, and they did just that. Came out with a lot more speed, and just 38 seconds in, um, Tyson Kirkby takes a shot. Cavalier makes the initial save. CJ Stubbs is there for the rebound, and it's 1-1. Um, we get to the key moment in this game, really. And this is where I felt like um, momentum shifted a bit, really, to Binghamton, because even though it was tied, I still felt like the teams were on an even keel as just as far as how they were playing. So in close in front of Cavallari, there's a mad scramble and very clear. Um, Gordon Whalen comes up with a high stick to um, on Kyle Steffen. Um, Malicious, no, no, but an obvious minor penalty. However, originally nothing called. Um, Brian Pincus, one of the two referees, I, I felt like he was out of position. The referees have positions that they're supposed to be in, and I always felt like he was just out of position. Several times, made quick whistles on loose pucks. Cavalieri hadn't covered, and the whistle gets blown. Everybody's going, "What'd you blow the whistle for?" Um, didn't call a bad game, but he was just seemed out of position, so he just kind of missed this. So the linesman confer with the referee, said, "Hey, high stick." Now Peter Panachik was in the vicinity of the incident. The penalty should have been on Whalen. As a matter of fact, Whalen initially had his number put up on the big screen. He's getting the penalty. Now it goes to Panachik instead, which is very odd. Um, but nonetheless, Panachik's in the box, and Austin Thompson able to connect a beautiful crisscross play. First of all, the puck's in deep in the Binghamton zone. Connor McAnana makes a 100-foot pass in stride to a streaking Tyson Kirkby, who's up there with Thompson. They crisscross. Kirkby is able to give the puck to Thompson. Thompson's left wide open and beats Cavalieri, and it's 2-1. A beautiful play. So now the second, this was not a good night to be Peter Panachik, unfortunately. He had a very rough game. First of all, he gets tagged for a penalty that's not his. And then with about 3 minutes later, terrible collision. Panachik's going one way. Yates is streaking in the other. It's a knee-on-knee hit. And unfortunately, Panachik was done for the night. It's never good when you see a player do this. We all knew that unfortunately his night was done, and I hope he's not injured too badly. It was very scary to see. Yates gets tossed, match penalty for kneeing. Was it a match penalty? I personally don't think so. 5-minute major, I could agree with, but nonetheless, the damage had been done for Carolina. You lose, one of your top players. He's obviously one of the top 6 forwards for Carolina, so he's out. And again, this is another play that initially the referees confer and they get the wrong guy. They're saying it's Kyle Steffen who was in the vicinity that should be getting penalized. And initially, that's what got posted on the Fed website. It was corrected. Yates gets the penalty. So again, another case of a referee just being out of position, not seeing things properly from proper sightline. Maybe. Nonetheless, it's a 5-minute power play for Carolina, and they did score once. Roman Kramer gets set up by Zach White, all alone, straight on from the point, wrists it home, wicked shot, beats McAnana, and it's 2-2. Unfortunately for Carolina, that's the only time they would get a score on that 5-minute major. So the time of that goal was 7:33. The teams are playing at a pretty good pace, and again, for the most part, this game was very clean. We get to another 2-on-1 break, and this time it's Scott Reimakers streaking down the wing. He makes literally from the goal line a cross ice pass to Zach Sirota, who's right in front, tips a puck home. It's just a straight redirect past Cavalieri, and that makes it 3-2, and that was going to be the game-winning goal. So, there you go. 3-2 at the end of two. Shots now 23 for Carolina, total 24 for Binghamton. Carolina goes in and makes some adjustments, tries to come back out with some more fire, and they did control the puck a little bit more, had better shot selection. Connor McAnana was standing tall. Interesting decision that I thought Coach Harrison made, which I did not say right at the beginning of the game. Recognizing that Carolina needed offense for this game, he shook things up. Instead of going with the usual 10 forwards and 6 defensive men, which he did in the first two games, he went with 11 forwards. And it was Dmitry Salyutin getting inserted in as a 10th forward. I felt like he really didn't get the playing time that he needed to get. I feel like he could have been out there a little bit more. The other decision, and this is one that I'm going to disagree with Coach Harry with. I think it ended up biting him in the butt. He takes Zach White off the first line with Roman Kramer and Gus Ford and puts Dawson Baker on there. Now, Baker is a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he's obviously not been 100%. Since coming back off of the 15-day DL, which was actually more like a 60-day stay, close to it. He's just not been 100%, and it showed. Baker did not play to his usual standards. I'm not sure what the injury was, but it was pretty obvious to a lot of us that Baker is still hurting and playing through it. But I thought it was very disadvantageous of Harrison to take White off of that line. Nonetheless, it was only 3-2, so Carolina is still in it at the end of 40 minutes. And Carolina would end up doubling shots in the third period. They were getting good looks. They were passing well. And we just had a couple of defensive breakdowns. Maybe defense starting to kind of tire out a little bit. 2-on-1 break. Cam Clark does all the yeoman's work. A couple of just amazing dekes. Skates his way through Carolina's defense. Cavallari makes the initial save. But on the rebound, puck goes behind the net, and it is brought back out. Tosto puts the rebound home, and it's 4-2. This is 8:55 of the third period, and at that point, it kind of felt like Binghamton's probably got this locked up. Final goal, Tyson Kirkby just picks Salak's pocket, streaks down on a breakaway, scores, and 16:09, and that was it. It was 5-2. So yeah, losing Panicek was again really really big. The one penalty, by Whalen, that really kind of got Binghamton going because again earlier on Carolina was dominating play. But there we go. 5-2 win. Binghamton repeats as champions. Carolina goes home. Both of these teams could look dramatically different next year. I'm not sure what's going to happen. The offseason is always filled with a lot of uncertainty. You look at the lineups and you go, are they going to be back? Are they going to be back? Is this player going to be back? What's going on? We do know this was the last game for John Butita. He announced at the beginning of the year this was his last year, and then he was going to end up retiring and going on to the next chapter in his life. So congrats on a wonderful career to John Butita. Great guy. And the captain is going to be sorely missed by Carolina. For Binghamton, I know a couple people have kind of hinted at this might be their last go round with hockey. They might be going on to other things. So we'll see. We will see. All right. So the good news is, final thing we have to touch on. Yeah, Dan McWinney, MVP, playoff MVP award, very decidedly goes to Connor McAnanama. Sick numbers: 7-1, a .88 goals against for the playoffs, and a .970 save percentage. We have not seen a goalie performance like this since Christian Pavlas of the 2018 and 19 Carolina Thunderbirds. This was just unreal. We haven't seen this level of goaltending in a long, long time. So yeah, very, very well deserved. Congratulations to Connor McAnanama uh, on that. And so then now we wait. We go through the off season. Um, Good news for all the other 13 teams and Binghamton too. Binghamton fans are already chomping at the bit. 152 days left until opening day. So there we go. I know it feels like an eternity, and as you're going through it, it feels like an eternity. Next thing up for the league in a couple of weeks, they will have the executive board meeting. They will make some decisions as far as what changes they may need to make for next year. Um, Work on the schedule. Talk about realignment. Talk about uh, yeah, integrating the three new teams. And they're also going to have to talk about the YouTube issues and what they do now. Where does the league go as far as streaming services? Again, I know that there's already been discussions going on. There will be a free alternative in place on opening day for all teams. So I believe that the league is trying to get things where all teams are on one platform. Um, but unfortunately, YouTube has become quite problematic. And so that will be discussed during the off season. So there we go. There's our game review. For next week, on Tuesday, we will have news and notes. We'll delve in a little bit more on what happened this week outside of the finals series, Motor City and Indiana and PD and um, yeah, progress being made in Topeka. We'll talk about all that stuff. Thursday, I'll have a podcast wrapping up the season. And then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take some time off, start back up in June, and we'll be doing videos talking about what's going on. We'll break down stuff like the first one of the first videos I have planned is what happened in Danville with the Dashers, what went wrong. So there's going to be features going on throughout the summer. So keep in tune. I'll post on Facebook. Anything that happens, I will be active still on Facebook for a couple weeks. But as far as videos and podcasts, again, after this next week, Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to take a break. And that'll be my off season, 2 weeks. All right. I want to thank you all so much for your support, for watching. All you fans, you're fantastic. You're great. 3,500 of you strong now. Really appreciate it. And I look forward to continuing to dig into what's going on in the FPHL with you and talking about it and just enjoying FPHL hockey. All right, I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you again very soon.